Oh my goodness. This season is giving grown-up middle schoolers for real. This is like kind of a little bit of a tough watch, but here I am watching and thoroughly entertained every single season. Okay. So, my name is Rosenica. Welcome to my casual channel. This is where we're going to be talking Love is Blind Season 6, Episodes 1 through 6. I typically cover Love is Blind, The Ultimatum, a lot of other reality TV shows. I stopped with The Bachelor and Married at First Sight, simply due to the fact that, like, nobody was watching. But, I'm always geeked for Love is Blind because it's such an interesting dynamic. It's so, just, like, I feel like it's a show that is meant for conversation, which is great that it's on Netflix, that everybody can just see it and have access to these interesting social dynamics. I'm going to be trying to prioritize the standout moments as opposed to prioritizing summarizing the whole entire thing, just because I believe, like, we all watched the show. I feel like a lot of people come to recaps and reviews to, like, have certain thoughts, see, like, where people align on certain thoughts and scenes and stuff. So I'm not the channel that's going to be reviewing each and every scene, each and everything, but I'm going to try my hardest, as long as it kind of stood out to me and as long as I wrote it down. That's what the heck is you're gonna get. I'm gonna split this up into my first impressions of everybody, the pod dynamics and how I feel about, like, each couple's pair, each potential couples pairs, each, like, love triangle, and then the post pod, or I guess the post reveal, like, scenes. Woo! This is gonna be a little bit of a journey. Okay, let's just get into it. Let's just get into it. Okay, so first impressions, we have our first ever mom. Is that our first ever? I find it really hard to believe it. Out of 6 seasons, we've got our first ever mom. That's crazy. I like the whole mom dynamic. I also find that Love is Blind is very interesting in the way that, like, they have some existing archetypes as well as some like new archetypes. Like, the mom thing has never really been brought up before. Maybe there's been, like, a dad, I think, which has never placed much emphasis on the show, even in, whatever. Our first ever mom is really interesting because it's like, it's not only showcasing her relationship to, like, being a mom, but it's also showcasing her relationship to, like, her daughter. Like, we know her daughter's name is Autumn. Don't know anything about Autumn. We know her daughter's name is Autumn and she's 10. And then also that comes into, like, relationships of how did you get there? How was it impacted your adult life? You had her when you were really young. I don't know. There's a lot of, like, interest there as opposed to just kind of talking to some other 20-something that has had, like, a kind of a typical life and, like, their own thing, but the whole mom dynamic I think is really new. We have some other, like, scene common archetypes in this show, like the whole girls look at me and they just see muscles and they think that I have, like, a low IQ and I'm, like, a meathead, aka Trevor. The Trevors of Love is Blind, there's always at least one per season, and it's always like, do you really disagree with how you were being read? Because I don't. Like, I don't know if I disagree with the fact that, like, maybe people look at you and see that you're a little bit of a meathead, have a little bit, low IQ is mean. I never want to call anybody low IQ, ever. We all have our different strengths, but it's just like, we have another archetype, which is interesting because I feel like you could kind of argue with me on this, but we have Amy from Puerto Rico, which is kind of the bubbly, like, everybody's kind of drawn to you Latina archetype, which we've seen before in Lydia, Nancy, and Giannina, if I'm not correct. Like, I feel like we have had it for at least 3 seasons, so I feel like it's kind of a strong thing. Same with the, like, abusive I was gonna say the abusive African man. No, the problematic African man, which has not appeared on this season, unless Clay got some ancestry we don't know about. But then we also got the traditional reality TV show Sociopath, which everybody's really enthralled with and wants to talk about, aka Matthew. We got Matthew. And there's definitely somebody I'm forgetting, like Matthew, Uche, JP is kind of questionable because there are some people who relate to JP and some people are like, that's a weird, I'm on the end of that's a weird man, like, he's a little bit scary. And Irina, because it doesn't always have to be a man, but it typically is. And then there's also that guy, what's his name? The one who had to, like, had to. The one who used the eye drops on his eyes to make it look like he was crying. Whoa. Okay, more into archetypes. We have so much to cover. A new archetype is, I think it's also in relation to like their location, but a young Christian person looking to form a solid foundation with somebody else, and despite the fact that they're young, they will build a foundation. They will be a power couple, strong Christian couple, which I think is really interesting. Are they in Charlotte? Somebody said that they were in Charlotte. I never like catch the city that they're in until they like move in and refer to it like a million times. So strong young Christian couple. Artemis? Seriously. She's messing with my puzzle. I'm so sorry. My little kitty cat is messing with my puzzle. And I'm not gonna edit this. Okay. Ken and Brittany. Honestly, I like to see them. I do. Even though I have conflicting views about my own like religious Christian views. Artemis, stop it. Okay. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. It's always interesting to hear from like a Black male who's never dated outside his race, what his experience is like, what his expectations could potentially be. As somebody who like has dabbled in like not interracial dating, because it's never been serious as it is in my marriage. I think it's interesting from somebody who's like in their adult life has never had kind of to contemplate that, because once you go from like strictly being in Black love and like dating somebody within your race and getting to know somebody within your race and like having that history, it's just a very different ball game. Like, you are introducing topics you never would have thought to think of before. You're like bringing up things that potentially could be uncomfortable for you and your partner. It's just different than being in a monoracial relationship. Okay, so yeah, Ken and Brittany, I like them, but I just know that it's just interesting. Like, people say like, oh, it doesn't matter, like color doesn't matter. The topics that you're going to be talking about, the experiences that you're going to be having, the things that you have to like discuss that are real life that are affecting your relationship, it matters to me, and I feel like it matters to Ken. Okay, so the handsome there's always the archetype. Oh my god. Give me a second. I'm so sorry. I never mean to do this. This is so annoying, I know, but I have to get my cat from the puzzle, and I'll be right back. Artemis? I am so sorry. That was so actually irking. That was very upset. She better be laying in the corner. So Ken and Brittany like them. There's the archetype of the handsome person who like knows he's attractive and it's just like, I just came here because like I'm just trying to push myself. He's literally here to, what was it that what's his name said, the kind of Matthew said, I didn't come here to be a C-list celebrity. Some people be coming on here to be C-list celebrities and they're just kind of like, they just kind of fall into these opportunities, you know? Like, I feel like young, attractive people just be falling into opportunities like this and just be like making stuff out of it and be like, I didn't even watch the show before this. I tried to watch a couple episodes, it wasn't for me. Yet still end up signing up because I'm guessing producers are like, we gotta have him on. Like, he will be good. Just kind of end up getting talked into it. Which is interesting. Oh, sorry. Along with the like handsome person who like knows how good he is and like knows he doesn't need this. He doesn't need. So many people kind of need this show. Kind of would like this concept because they're like, I don't know, like I'm a little bit insecure. Like I want people to know for me. He doesn't need to do this. He's like good. He's gonna be good either way. Like he's good either way. But then there's also the girl who like is attracted to that and who will ignore the red flags that come with being of somebody who's like that attractive. AKA AD, which I love AD. I do. I really like AD as a fellow Black woman who's dark skinned. I just love to see a girl like that, like be likable, be desired, be in a monoracial couple. I love to see it because it's like kind of rare, honestly, especially on these reality TV shows. It's mainly the girl like AD, a girl who looks like AD, who's kind of the more side character, who's kind of like the, you know, like, you just expect her to be kind of disappointed. And I like that she stepped into this main character role, who people like, who a guy has chosen her, who just is getting her moment. Let's get her moment, AD. The people who are, then we have the people who are golden retrievers, aka Trevor. I was gonna say Chelsea, but we find out later on she's not really. But like, I don't know if it's golden retriever, like empty-headedness. But Chelsea, Trevor, and kinda Jimmy, right? There's just something about Jimmy. He's just so boring, bro. He's just so boring. Oh. I love how quirky and goofy Jeremy is. There's something about Jeremy that I feel like you like want to be his friend. Like, though we all know a Jeremy in real life who's like kind of quick-witted, kind of funny, like you could just be yourself around him, you know? Yeah. So, let's go into the pod dynamics. Also, I didn't say anything really that much about the mother, Jessica. She, to me, I like her, but she, to me, gives very much like she would be very disappointed at anybody in this cast's reveal. Because I feel like a woman who kind of looks like that, like the very basic, like, brunette, brown eyes, very socially universally attractive, clearly has got some work done, young mom who like is independent. I just feel like her standards are just a lot higher than what a lot of these men are giving. And these men clearly are giving, yeah, I'm very much here to be here, and it's not a shock that I'm on this show. Not calling them ugly, but just saying, like, I just feel like we're gonna see her social media presence, like, transcend throughout this show. She's very much giving also Francesca Fargo from Too Hot to Handle. I just feel like those type of women, like, they just become certain types of figures that are just like, they just transcend the shows that they're on, honestly. So the first note that I made about when we see the pods open and we see the pod dynamics, Matthew, okay, at first you're like, oh, this is weird. He's really rude in the way that he walked into a pod, started asking these questions to this girl. This girl started answering, and he was like, I can't do this. And just walked out with no explanation. And that was just really, you're thinking like, oh, he's just a jerk. Like, he's just a douche. Like, yuck. Oh my God. Like, he's going to be the villain of the season. And then we see he kind of lets his walls down with AD, and AD is the type of person to just like open him up, kind of give him a chance. And we're kind of thinking, well, this is me projecting. I am kind of thinking, well, I mean, like, maybe just nobody's giving him a chance. Maybe he honestly just isn't neurotypical in the way that, in the sense that it's canceled. Maybe he's neurotypical in the way that, like, what he does and what he says doesn't make sense to people who are neurotypical, because maybe he's overstimulated, can't really communicate that, and the way his actions are not in line with how other neurotypical people like respond, you know, because it's like, what, that it doesn't make sense to just walk out with no explanation. Nobody is that rude, you know, like, so then when you're seeing him talk to AD, a little bit of me softened towards him, because I'm thinking, like, he's maybe just a little bit awkward, maybe he's overstimulated, doesn't know how to communicate, this is just not for him. But it's hard because I'm like trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and be like, you know, maybe he's not that much of a jerk. But then we obviously are proven right as to, no, he just is a little bit off. Like, he is just weird. And it was rude that he just walked out with no explanation, you know? Like, some things just have to be objective even if you don't know the full truth, because we're going off of what we see. Like, we just have to go off what we see. Let me know if somebody agrees with me, like, how much grace are we going to give Matthew? Like, because I feel like a lot of people are not going to be down with Matthew, and a lot of people are like, he's a weird sociopath with red flags. But in that moment when he was talking to AD, I feel like I saw him just be a softer person, just like, I don't know how to do this, I feel overwhelmed, like, I'm not good at articulating any of this, I don't know what the heck. And I feel like you could see him trying to be like so for real, and it was like hard. But ultimately is getting the villain edit, honestly. Not a lot of people are going to empathize with him. Can we? I don't know. That's my question, is like, should we try to? Or just be like, objectively, the moves he made on the show were weird. Jessica and Jimmy make a connection, and right as Jimmy is opening up about his past, boring Jimmy is finally giving us some sort of information that could be of interest to his character. Jessica is like, oh, you know what? I have a secret too. Like, I think we would get along because you would not guess that I probably relate to you a lot more than you think. And then goes off on her story. Not to discredit her story and invalidate the fact that her story is worth mentioning. It's like, I'm trying so hard to care about anything in relation to Jimmy. Like, I don't understand why the camera's giving him so much time. I don't think he's an interesting person. I don't want to see him so much. Just give me something about how he grew up like dirt poor and like struggled to like eat meals when he was growing. Like, give me something. Oh my god. Oh my god. So it's like a little bit mad at Jessica for like doing that. Honestly, I don't know if a lot of people are gonna find him as boring as I do, but I hope so. Cool, I hope so. Because he's getting a lot of screen time. Like, Chelsea and Trevor seem to be on the same, like, vibration. There's just something about their, like, golden retriever kind of, like, not empty-headedness. I was gonna say that, but this is so mean. But there's just something about it, like, an air to them that just gives very much, like, I could not have an in-depth conversation with you about, like, anything, and I would not want to. But at the same time, Chelsea and Trevor, like, I don't like them, but I think that they would work. You know, it's like, I'm not rooting for you, but at the same time, this is the most realistic thing, so y'all should be together. Like, you are messing up the bag if you think you're not gonna be good together. Whew. Okay, so the AD, Clay, and Matthew love triangle. AD, Clay, and Matthew. I said it, but then I didn't register who those people were. Clay seems, to, like, be an advocate, or seems to not. Oh my god, I wrote that in my notes. Clay does not seem to be, like, somebody who would have dated a black girl before, and seems like I would have a crush on Clay in high school. He would be, like, on the basketball team or something, and I would, like, see him in class and stuff, and, like, maybe would get around that, like, I had, like, a crush on him or something, and he would directly tell me, like, I'm sorry, I don't go for black girls. I'm just like... Clay just doesn't... I don't know what it is about... No, I do. Like, it's just the fact that if you're, like, a smooth talker, if you're that attractive, he just reminds me of, like, the suburban black people that I, like, really liked growing up, who just, like, wouldn't reciprocate, and, like, would make that known and be kind of arrogant about it. And I was nervous for AD because I was like, I feel like he's wanting to know what you look like because he can just, like, reject you softly, but not blame it on the fact that you described yourself and what you look like, but just based off, like, something else is gonna make up as an excuse. Anyway, like, I want to like Clay, and because I want to root for him, but there's so many, like, little moments and red flags and, like, things that remind me of certain people in my life that I'm like, Okay, so I like the Ken and Brittany connection because they are principal teacher. How the heck also do you become a principal at 25? I would love to know how you become a principal at 25. And then how was she well, I mean, it's more real for somebody to be a teacher at 24. I think about all my teachers who I've had, I'm like, how old were they? I thought they were all like 30. Probably some of them were like in their early 20s, which is crazy. But yeah, so I like the whole strong faith, potential power couple dynamic because it just comes from, like, a pure place. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel preachy. It doesn't feel, like, in your face. Like, there are a lot of power couple faith people that, like, will put that in your face and, like, come from, like, an arrogant standpoint. But I feel like I like their dynamic because it feels very much like we're based in, I don't know, just wanting to have a passion for certain things, you know? Johnny accidentally says I love you to Jessica. Johnny accidentally says I love you to, was it Amy? Sorry, not Jessica. That was kind of, it was supposed to be cute. Like, I think some people read it as cute, but I found it a little bit cringe, to be honest. I just like those moments. Sometimes Netflix's editing is just so slow and so, like, you just have to sit with these moments and like view these people in their real life time, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Chelsea and Jimmy talk. Hold on, I have to read this note. Chelsea and Jimmy this is when, okay, so their whole kind of like love triangle, there's like the Chelsea and Trevor, Chelsea and Jimmy thing. Chelsea brings up that she's been divorced before because she got married at 18, which I'm personally not like it's not a shock to somebody like me who got married at like 22. When you get married young, it's not a shock when people get divorced, obviously, because I think a lot of people come from places where you just get married young and that's just like what you do, and then when you get divorced, it's like, I mean, that was about to happen. Like, I just got divorced because everybody else was getting married. Sorry, I just got married because everybody else was getting married. And I wanted to hear more about that. But it's weird because she brought it up and she was like, do you want to know more about the divorce? After she initially brought it up, he kind of took it bad because he was like, so many people are telling me so many things. Shut up. Like, it's not even about you. Like, just take this person, hear what they're saying, and like, the hell. I'll get more into my feelings about Jimmy later. Not just the fact that he's boring, but just the fact that he's like immature. So she's like, do you want to hear more about my divorce? And Jimmy says, I don't care, it's not a red flag to me. And she like smiles and just takes that. I view that as a red flag. So it's like, you don't want to hear about my divorce? I'm out here trying to get married again, and you don't want to just hear about my divorce and what potentially could have caused that from my perspective? Are you kidding? If my husband had been previously married, granted, we started dating at 18. No, I was 18. Granted, we started dating when I was super young, but if we like divorced right now and I started dating somebody, I would want to hear about their divorce. I would want to see what the heck is going on. I feel like people ignore these red flags that are so glaring because they're just like caught up in the whole, oh my god, we're in the pods, like this person is so great, I don't want to hear about your divorce, it's going to change my image of you, you know? Like, you need to dig into things like that. Weird. Amy sees Johnny, they're like the first reveal, I think, which honestly, like, I don't care about too much because they're just too happy. Like, they're sweet people, and I think they're bubbly people, and I think that I want to root for them during the show. But honestly, I don't know. When it's like sweet, happy, successful people, you're like, if you're not providing the drama, I don't know what to talk about when it comes to you. Except for the fact that she said she's used to more ethnic men. Interesting. It really just do be changing your whole perspective when you do go from dating a person of color to dating somebody who's hate. Just because, I don't know, you're just like, all these experiences are just kind of new. At least for me. I'm projecting. But, okay, so we see that Clay is having a talk with AD, and he finds out about the love triangle that he's in. And he does not take it well, and he is really jealous, and he kind of just starts being... He doesn't take it well. He just does not take it well, and I didn't like that look for him. I thought it was, like, a little bit ugh, but I did appreciate that he was being genuine, you know? In the way that he was saying, like, my ego was just, like, battling with this idea that you're in... you're in a thing with like somebody else and it's Matthew, and like I'm pretty sure on the guy's end, like Matthew's not coming off pretty well, like he's looking weird, because he is looking weird. But so yeah, the whole thing happens and you're kind of like, this is the end of them. Like, they're not gonna stick it out. I'm gonna move on to the next couple of notes because I feel like my thoughts about this will be revealed later on. So Jessica really wants Jimmy, which doesn't make sense to me because I feel like she's kind of just cherry picking the things that she likes about him. They would not work out in real life. It'd be maybe work for like when they see each other, the reveal, and like the shock is just so much that like you just are very optimistic and you're like, oh my god, I love the things about you, oh my god. And then later it's like you realize like, oh, this man like doesn't know how to articulate a sentence about his feelings. That's weird. So, and then also she's just out of his league. I don't like to say that, like, as somebody who just believes that people like people based off, I don't know, like things you just can't quantify, and like physical I feel like we believe that physical overrides personality and emotional and mental connections, but for the most part, like, your physical will not outlast you in like 50 years. Like, me in 50 years, I'm not gonna look the same as now. I'm not gonna look as good, but like, my husband will kind of have to deal with it based off the fact that he picked me off of my personality and the things that we get along over and we bond over, whatever. So I don't like to say like, that person's out of each other's league, because I believe that mental and emotional should override physical, but just objectively, like, they don't fit. I'm sorry. Also, the fact that Jimmy is boring and like doesn't know how to form sentences. I don't know. Chelsea is in a love triangle with Jimmy and Trevor. Shoot me every single time they have a conversation about that. Oh my god. I wanted so badly to just fast forward. I couldn't. I tried. Then I was like, oh, I missed something. And I had to go back. Like, okay, so we get the first ever, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the first ever monoracial proposal? Is that? Did Uche propose to Aaliyah? No, Aaliyah left. That was the whole thing. I was for it. It's so exciting. Jimmy and Jessica have communication issues. It shows that Jimmy is emotionally immature. I have written down the notes from the minute that he started talking. I was like, he seems, I don't know, like, there's nothing about him that you would just think like, that's the father of my children. You just, because yeah, he just can't articulate certain things that Jessica's looking for, and Jessica's looking for a stepfather. Jessica's looking for things that he just cannot provide. So Jessica says, you know what? And it wasn't even like tea that was going on between them. It was just simply, she said, like, I'm just gonna lay my heart out for you. I'm just gonna be honest. You're the only man that I want. And she's kind of looking for that back. She's kind of looking for something back. And he wasn't giving anything. He was like, honestly, I can't tell you what you want to hear. And that was it. So Jessica says, after like they have this whole entire exchange, you are going to choke when you see me. Which is such an incredible line for Love is Blind. I'm surprised it took us 6 seasons to get here, where somebody was just open and honest about the fact that they're going to be humbled by them seeing somebody else at their first. Like, you are going to see me and quake. Just know I am the best looking person. Just know it. Like, I really like that idea, but I know that this is probably gonna, like, once people have seen this, once the audience has taken note of this, other copycats are gonna be doing that later, and the later scenes be like, you're gonna see me and choke, you're gonna see me, and you're gonna really regret your decision. It's gonna become a thing. But I like that she was the first one to do it, because that was such an interesting, dare I say, iconic line, even though it was kind of mature, because it's like, he just doesn't know how to articulate his feelings, bro. Like, you're literally just not meant to be. Stop making it a big deal. I just thought it was interesting. But honestly, Jessica, like, let's just be so for real. You are going to go on Instagram, you're going to find somebody who is on your league, probably even, like, somebody of high caliber. You're probably going to fall in love with somebody who's, like, a professional athlete and become a stepfather for your daughter. You're literally going to fall in love with somebody who's, like, playing for the NFL. Like, she looks like a wag, which is wives and girlfriends of professional athletes. So let's not act like you're losing anything when it comes to Jimmy. Please, Lord. Also, what is it with these people acting like they look like Megan Fox? Who was telling you look like Megan Fox? Like, first it was Irene to be like, some people don't look like Megan Fox. You don't look like Megan Fox. There's nothing in you that looks like Megan Fox. And then, with, what's her name? Who was the person who said she looked like Megan Fox? Who's with Jimmy right now? That's not Jessica. It's the other girl. Chelsea. What are we doing? Why the hell do you guys want to claim Megan Fox so darn bad? She would not claim you, bro. Also, the way that she said it, people told me that I look like MGK's, like, wife or girlfriend. You know who Megan Fox is. Don't be dumb, bro. Don't be so stupid to bring up. Oh, you know who this, like, B-list celebrity is? He's dating like that A-list celebrity. We know the A-list celebrity, bro. Stop. Anyway, Clay seems like oh, sorry. I was gonna read off some notes that I had from the last, like, couple minutes. let's get into post reveal. We see that 5 couples have been engaged. Ah! And I'm guessing that honestly, I think that like 2 couples are gonna make it. 2 couples are gonna make it to the aisle, and then 1 is gonna get married, and then shortly divorce. Just like I said, like this season is giving immature. It's not giving anything real. Of course, Jimmy has never been out the country. They go to the DR, and Jimmy at the first says, out the car says, "Oh, I never been out the country." None of us are shocked, Jimbo. These hotels though are so nice. Oh my god, like I love them. Chelsea is giving suspicious because, of course, like Jimmy, like Jim said, she doesn't look like Megan Fox. Like, he was probably expecting Megan Fox this whole time. Like, oh my god, the coach doesn't look like Megan Fox. Oh my god. Not to degrade her or anything at all. She's a beautiful girl at the end of the day. At the end and the beginning of the day, this girl is a beautiful woman. But it's just like, don't come out here comparing yourself to like Megan. She's even suspicious because she lied about that, and then she also lied about the fact that she hadn't told anybody that he said that I love you to her, which is like, why would you do that? Like, we all know you told somebody. All these couples, like, it just sorry, before I go to the next note, it's just like, I feel like it's a red flag in the terms of like, why would you even say that to begin with? Like, it wouldn't have had to be a problem. So is she giving pathological liar, or is she just kind of like an exaggerative person? You know? All these couples meet, and they have their like drunk moments, you know, like typically it's a pool party, but it's just like a beach hang. Everybody's drunk. Like, everybody's drinking. I hate these like moments because everybody's just kind of saying like their most inner thoughts that they wouldn't be saying sober, I'm guessing. They wouldn't be saying sober. And so let's talk about these 2 comments that were stupid. They were so annoying to watch. Jimmy comments on AD's body and just says to his wife, not his wife, to his fiance, "Yo, AD's stacked." Y'all learn nothing from Izzy. Nothing. You don't comment on somebody else's body even though you're wanting to be honest. You don't do that. You keep it to yourself. But like I said, like when you bring drinking into the mix, things just do not need to get as honest as they are. Like, maybe in the future you could be like, you know, people who shocked me, like, were like, I don't know, like, you just don't say, y'all have like seen each other for only like 2 days at this point. Stop making people insecure. It's always the men, which is weird. Like, I want a woman to be, no, I don't. No, maybe there has been a woman before that's been like, oh my god, he's, no, Jackie went, oh my god, look at him, he's so fine, in the past couple seasons. But I don't think Marshall made a big deal out of it because he was, I don't know, probably like, I don't want to bring this up because it's going to make me feel bad. Jeremy and whoever the heck is with Laura, is it Laura? Talk about Laura bringing up the fact that like, he should have, what the thing, bean dipped her? What the hell is that? Ew. That, like, at first I thought it was like, I took offense to it. I was like, bean dipped? What the, is that a black thing? Is that like a thing that like white people do to like, no, but apparently it's just like a thing where you just like do it to breasts, which is like, this is why I say they're giving immature. They're giving middle school, because like, why would you even bring that up at all? Why would that need to be brought up at all? It's so gross. It's weird. And why would it be about AD? Like, you know, what was the context of that conversation? So then everybody just talks about it openly. Laura gets like, is it her name Laura? Please let her name be Laura. You know who I'm talking about. Jeremy, the person who Jeremy's with, is like, it wasn't even meant to be like, it's not supposed to be a big deal. Like, it shouldn't have been said. But it is like weird because it's like out there, but it's like, why is it out there? And then everybody's like, oh, and they're all drunk, so they're laughing about it uncomfortably. I personally think it's like a weird thing to even like, I don't know, comment. Like, it's weird as hell. Okay, so yeah, the couples just like, I don't like when the couples get drunk and they just start being stupid and they start acting like fools. It makes the show kind of like harder to watch. I love AD though. I love that AD and Ken had the conversation about how you can be in an interracial relationship and be pro-black, and I think that like a lot of people if you're not Black, may not understand what this means. Sometimes y'all be getting it, I don't know, but I feel like sometimes there are interracial couples who sometimes the like person of color just dislikes their own community or group and kind of like not disowns but like talks down, and is like, that's why I'm with somebody who's white, that's why I'm with somebody who's white. And then, but it's like mainly when people are pro-Black, there's just like a sense of comfort. There's just this is just I'm projecting, okay? But the idea of you being pro-Black, I'm very much pro-Black and I have a white partner. I happen to be with my white partner because I love him very much and he's the person for me, okay? But it just was kind of a very real conversation that I wanted to see happen on the show, because there are not a lot of real conversations on this for a real show. Like, everybody needs to be so real, and it's so yeah, everybody's just a little bit spacey, a little bit weird, a little immature. We just need real moments from real people, which I don't think we're gonna get. It looks like some of the previews are gonna show us some little toxic moments, which should not be excited for, but I am. So far, my favorite is AD. AD, you represent. Oh my god. We did not talk about the fact that AD and Clay had a conversation about AD's weight. What the hell? AD was basically saying like, oh, I'm gonna count my calories or something. She said, I'm gonna count my calories. She said something about taking note of calories. Clay was like, you don't need to do all that. Like, what the hell? You're still gonna look good. She's like, no, I work hard. Which I believe, as somebody who has a condition that makes her gain weight, and I have to take like conscious effort of the things that I do. Sometimes people just have to work for things that they like want, the figure that they want. I found it weird that he was like, no. And I think this is a common belief amongst men. Sometimes men say it publicly, sometimes they don't say it at all, but the idea of, even after you have kids, like, we're gonna get you back in the gym. I feel like, honestly, I want to empathize with Clay, because I feel like that's just what men just be saying the most, like, things that they just, like, hear and, like, feel they need to repeat. I feel like Clay is open to learning as to why that's problematic. I don't know. Because I feel like he kind of just said that this is something that you'd, like, be saying to women. Still problematic, still gross. But I like that AD stood on business and was like, what? That will be my journey. This is not a conversation we're having. Yeah, my AD is my favorite. That's pretty much all I have. I'm gonna come back for episodes, is it like 6 through like whatever, however, I'm gonna say 6 through 12 because it only makes sense if they're dropping 6 at a time. I did not look at how many episodes were up ahead, but I'm gonna come back for the rest of the episodes, and then maybe we have a reunion that drops separately from the rest of the episodes. We'll see. Yeah, wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time of day it is, I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night.